Patrick's Day to everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Coug Zone. I'm your host, Jillian Showalter.
And I'm your co-host, Eli Winkey. Our spring season athletes continue to put up dominating performances all around. Track and field took over as they left their competitors in the dust. Women's basketball had a spectacular postseason run, and women's golf put up some of their career best performances out on the green.
Plus, baseball will be coming home soon for their home opener after a very long road trip. All that and so much more.
Right here, only on Coug Zone.
California for a long road trip as they start off at San Luis Obispo for a 4-game series against Cal Poly. In Game 1, WSU struggled on both sides of the ball, with the offense not getting anything going against the Mustangs, totaling just 2 hits. As for pitching, senior Luke Myers struggled against an aggressive Cal Poly lineup, resulting in a 9-0 loss for the Cougs.
In Game 2, redshirt sophomore starting pitcher Nick Lewis shut down the Mustangs, pitching 5 shutout innings. The matchup went into extra innings, tied at 2-2, where a wild pitch thrown by redshirt junior pitcher Scott Rengett allowed Cal Poly to score the walk-off run.
Games 3 and 4 were a different story for the Cougs. Wazoo's offense exploded in Game 3, tallying 11 hits and 8 runs. Senior Max Hartman and Ryan Shawnsby led the way for both the Cougs, both recording 2 hits and 2 RBIs in an 8-3 win.
In Game 4, WSU was down in the 8th inning 3-4, but the luck of the Irish was on their side. A clutch hit by redshirt senior infielder Luke Thiele tied the game in the top of the 9th. Hartman put the ball in play to score the winning run for a 5-4 victory, earning them a pot of gold after losing the first 2 games. The Cougs battled back in the last 2 to split the series against the Mustangs.
After facing off against Cal Poly, the Cougs headed back down to California on February 26th to play a 2-game series against both BYU and Long Beach State. WSU lost 2 close matchups against BYU, losing 6-4 in Game 1 and 5-4 in Game 2. But the Cougs managed to turn it around as they faced Long Beach State.
In Game 1, freshman center fielder Trevor Smith led the Cougs offense with a walk, single, double, triple, and 4 RBIs. Senior shortstop Gavin Roy also played a big role in the offense's performance, tallying 3 RBIs in a 10-4 win for Wazoo. In Game 2, senior starter Griffin Smith struggled, allowing 3 runs in 4 2/3 innings pitched. But the offense had his back, scoring 9 runs to win 9-7. The hero in this game was Long Beach native Shawnsby, who had a clutch go-ahead 2-run single in the 8th to give WSU the lead.
WSU then traveled over to San Marcos, Texas, March 5th for a 4-game set against Texas State. In Game 1, WSU's offense was explosive, hitting 4 home runs and 14 hits. In the end, Wazoo could not get the winning runs across and ultimately fell 13-11. Their bats continued to stay hot in Game 2 as they put up 9 runs on the board. A 3-run 7th inning allowed the Cougs to take the lead late and secure a 9-7 win over the Bobcats.
Game 3 starter Smith was dominant through 5 innings, limiting Texas State to 1 run through 5. In the 6th and 7th inning, the Bobcat offense came to life, scoring 9 runs. Those 2 innings propelled Texas State to a 10-4 win over WSU. One highlight for the Cougs was junior catcher Cam McLeod hitting his first 2 home runs of the season in Game 3.
Game 4 turned out to be more of a pitching duel as WSU's pitching limited Texas State's high-powered offense to a mere 4 total runs. However, the Cougs could not generate any runs of their own as they fell short, scoring only 3 runs.
Wazoo had a chance to score in the 9th with runners on base, but Hartman grounded out to end the game for the Cougs. In the end, the Cougs fought hard against a tough Texas State team, but ultimately lost the series. WSU will try to bounce back and gain some momentum March 13th in a 3-game series against San Diego State.
Men's basketball wrapped up its season with a series of conference matchups, including games against LMU, Pepperdine, and Portland in the West Coast Conference Tournament. On February 25th, the Cougs fell to LMU 67-66 in a tightly contested game after holding an early 15-point lead before the Lions rallied in the second half.
Washington State returned to action on February 28th, closing out the regular season with an 88-79 victory against Pepperdine. Freshman Ace Glass led the Cougs with 22 points, while 4 other WSU players finished with double digits.
The Cougars then made their way over to Las Vegas for the West Coast Conference Tournament. WSU faced off against Portland on March 6th before falling 74-68 in the second round. Glass once again led Washington State with 19 points. The loss brings the Cougars' season to a close as Washington State now turns its attention to the future and building momentum for the next season.
On February 26th, the Cougs shamrocked it in the second half to pull away from Seattle U for a 69-55 victory at Beasley Coliseum. Washington State controlled the glass with a 46-29 rebounding advantage and set a program record by shooting a perfect 17 for 17 from the free throw line. Junior center Alex Couville led the Cougars with 18 points, while junior guard Eleonora Villa added 15 of her own, and junior guard Mackenzie Chatfield contributed 7 assists and 3 steals. WSU created separation in the third quarter, outscoring the Redhawks 24-15 to take control of the game before closing it out late.
2 days later, the Cougars wrapped up the regular season with a 57-50 win over St. Mary's at Beasley February 28th. Washington State relied on strong interior play, scoring 36 points in the paint while holding a 38-29 rebounding edge. Villa led the team with 13 points, while Colville and freshman forward Malia Reid each added 12. The game remained tight throughout the second half, but the Cougars locked in defensively down the stretch, holding the Gals without a field goal in the final minute and a half to seal the victory.
WSU carried that momentum to Las Vegas for the 2026 West Coast Conference Tournament starting play on March 5th as they destroy Seattle U 80-58. The Cougars forced 17 turnovers and had 4 players in double-digit points, led by Villa's 22 points on 8 of 12 shooting. Redshirt freshman guard Kendra Kuritz added 13 points, while Reid and Couville each added 12. A dominant second quarter helped Wazoo build a double-digit lead that the Cougars never surrendered.
The Cougars followed that performance with another strong showing on March 6th, defeating Pacific 82-76 to advance in the tournament. Washington State shot over 52% from the field and scored 40 points in the paint, with 5 players reaching double-digit points. Villa once again led the way with 22 points and 7 assists, while Cordes added 15 points and sophomore guard Charlotte Abraham chipped in 13. Despite a late surge from Pacific, the Cougars held on down the stretch to maintain their lead and continue their postseason run.
On March 7th in Las Vegas, Washington State faces Portland, but tragically the Cougars' season would end with a score of 72-62. The Cougars controlled the glass with a 36-24 rebounding advantage and scored 34 points in the paint.
Washington State trailed just 33-30 at halftime, but Portland would go on a 17-4 run in the third. The Cougs made a late push in the fourth, scoring 21 points, but were unable to close the gap as the Pilots held on for the win, putting an end to a very impressive run.
On March 1st at the MPSF Championships in Reno, Nevada, the Cougars must have found a 4-leaf clover patch because the men's dominated the 5,000 meters by snatching all the top 5 spots. Sophomore Solomon Kipchoge led the Cougs, finishing first in 13 minutes and 46 seconds, just ahead of sophomore Evan Kariwi by 1 second. Kipchoge's race was thought to be careful as most of his race was behind Kariwi, but with a few laps to go, he made a break to put himself in the lead.
Women's distance DMR relay team had their first win, of which Longisa went from 7th to 1st to steal the race for the Cougs. Moving over to the men's DMR team, a 10-minute and 5-second finish was good enough to take home third, wrapping up the first day of the MPSF Championships.
Moving on to the second day of the championships, Washington State closed out the MPSF Championships with the men's team finishing 4th overall and women's placing 5th in a highly competitive field. Once again, Chepto finished off the day with a victory for the Cougs in the mile with a time of 4 minutes and 47 seconds. Right behind her were freshman Haley Cossey and junior Nicole Bissell, finishing 7th and 9th in the mile, respectively, both posting strong times under 5 minutes.
Later in the meet, Longisa secured another win under her belt with the 800-meter title in 2 minutes and 7 seconds. On the men's side, Kipchoge took home his second victory of the weekend, finishing his 3,000-meter race in 8 minutes and 2 seconds.
Looking ahead into the track and field team, Longisa will continue her season by attending the NCAA Championships on March 13th and 14th, where she will compete in both the 800-meter and the mile.
On February 22nd and 23rd, the Cougs closed out the Westbrook Invitational in Peoria, Arizona with a statement round, firing a pair of under-par finishes in the desert. Junior Sarah Pinerose turned in a career best performance, carding a 270 in the final round, her lowest round as a Cougar. Freshman Caitlin Helm matched the moment with a 1 under 71, highlighted by 4 birdies on the day. Helm led Washington State for the tournament at 2 under par, finishing tied for 31st overall.
Senior Hannah Harrison was right behind Helm at 1 under par for the weekend, continuing a consistent showing for the Crimson and Gray. Pineros climbed the leaderboard to finish tied for 54th, while sophomore Agnes Brink placed 73rd and sophomore Grace Rubleski tied for 77th.
As a team, the Cougs finished tied for 13th at the +10 alongside Colorado State, just 1 shot behind Penn State in a tight team race. The tournament was held at Westbrook Village Golf Club, a par 72 layout stretching 6,293 yards. Teams played 36 holes Sunday before closing with 18 on Monday. A strong finish in Arizona, and momentum is building for Washington State women's golf.
Women's tennis faces off against UW February 27th as the Huskies ended up posting a 7-0 victory over the Cougars at the Nordstrom Tennis Center. The loss snaps WSU's 3-match winning streak and moves the Cougs to 6-4 in the season.
The following day, redshirt junior Yura Nakagawa's 3-set victory at number 4 singles clinched a 4-3 Washington State victory over the number 36-ranked UC Santa Barbara. This marks Wazoo's biggest ranked win since April of 2022. This win marks the Cougs' first ranked win of the season and improved to 7-4, while UCSB falls to 5-6.
WSU hosts number 16 Pepperdine on March 3rd. Seniors Ava Alvarez-Sande and Maxine Murphy each posted wins over top 50 players, but Pepperdine proved too strong in a 4-3 win over number 68 ranked Washington State in the West Coast Conference opener at Hollenberry Fieldhouse. With the loss, Wazoo falls to 7-5, while Pepperdine improves to 5-3. The Cougars are next in action Friday, March 13th, when they travel to Eugene to face Oregon.
WSU freshman catcher Alexandre Ziguer was named the Mountain West Conference Freshman of the Week. After an impressive stretch in the series against Texas State, this was announced on Monday, March 9th, with Ziguer being the first WSU player to win this Player of the Week award since redshirt sophomore starter Nick Lewis was named Conference Pitcher and Freshman of the Week on May 5th.
Men's basketball redshirt sophomore Parker Geraitis was named to the West Coast Conference All-Academic Team after maintaining a 7.8 GPA throughout the fall semester. Junior guard Richard Vevers also received an All-Academic honorable mention for his academics.
On Monday, March 9th, NFL free agency opened where 3 former Cougs signed large contracts. Cornerback Jalen Watson signed a 3-year, $54 million contract with the Los Angeles Rams. Safety Jalen Thompson signed a 3-year, $36 million deal with the Dallas Cowboys. And finally, quarterback Gardner Minshew signed a 1-year, $8.25 million deal with the Arizona Cardinals. Way to go get your pot of gold, Cougs.
Now let's take a quick break as we check out this Crimson Corner commercial.
We barely scraped out the win, and so this one should be an interesting one.
I think it's going to be incredibly close. I think that with it here in Pullman, we could pack Pullman.
Man, who am I here with?
Jackie Carl, Mary Healy,
and Cameron Lingenbrink.
What does this rivalry game against UW mean to this team this year?
We had 4 of our race 2 players for the Apex this year, so
That was pretty much it. Yes, that is accurate.
Oh.
Wait, we're not we're in the same row. Yeah, we're in the same row, but we don't stick by anyone.
Jackson Potter passes and the ball now and then tries not to get to it.
I definitely loved seeing him. I would have wanted to see more of him and team with him, but I also understand Potter coming in some of our spring sports have come to an end, we still have a lot to look forward to for the remainder of March. Baseball's first home series will be against GCU March 20th through the 22nd. Afterwards, they quickly face Gonzaga in Spokane March 24th to follow up with another home series facing Nevada March 27th to the 29th. Then, their last game of the month is against Seattle U on March 31st.
Swimming will have the chance to compete in the NCAA tournament held in Atlanta, Georgia from March 18th to the 21st.
Track and field's last indoor meet will be in the NCAA Indoor Championships in Fayetteville, Arkansas, March 13th and 14th. Then they will move on outside as they will run in the spring bake meet at San Diego, California, March 20th and 21st.
Tennis faces Eastern Washington March 21st and LMU March 22nd, both at home at the WSU outdoor tennis courts. Then afterwards make their way down to California to play St. Mary's March 28th and Pacific March 29th.
Women's volleyball gets to play a few games in the spring as they face U of I on March 21st and the University of Montana March 27th.
Men's golf will participate in the Goodwin Tournament at Stanford, California, March 26th through the 28th, along with women's golf playing in the Silicon Valley Showcase March 29th through the 31st.
Rowing will get to the chance to make an appearance in the NCAA Championships March 29th through the 31st. Thanks for watching. Want more WSN content? Follow us on all of our social media at Wazoo Sports Network on Instagram and TikTok and at Wazoo Sportsnet on X.
Also make sure to like and subscribe to Cable 8 Productions on YouTube for more amazing content like a new episode of Crimson Corner.
And our merch store is live. Click the link in our Instagram bio to see all the WSN swag available for purchase. Once again, I'm Jillian Showalter.
And I'm Eli Winkey. It was our delight to be your host today, and we'll catch you next time.
Right here, on
Cougs. Shamrocked it.